Hi everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. Hope you're all doing well. Had a great week. It is Friday, February 23rd. Spring training games are underway already, if you can believe it. See-through pants and all. So we'll see how that issue progresses in the days ahead. Should be interesting. But in this video, I'm going to share a few recent pickups I've gotten. Nothing too major, but some pretty fun stuff, I think. Happy to add them to the collection for sure. But more important, I'm going to talk about some updates on thoughts I've had about goals. So I'm kind of, I'm getting ready to finish one here, hopefully in the weeks to come. But looks like I'm going to start a new chapter, or I have started a new chapter on one that I thought maybe was completed. So I'll turn the phone around and we'll talk about it. Stick around. All right. So I got a few bases I want to cover actually in this video. So I'm going to get right to showing some cards, starting with recent pickups. I just picked this up today at one of my LCSs in town. It is a 1968 NL RBI leaders with 3 Hall of Famers on it, including Clemente and Aaron and Orlando Cepeda. So this is a really cool card. I got this for $12 actually at one of my 2 LCSs here in town. I'm actually going to take it out of the sleeve now because I don't want to see it with the price tag at this point. So I'm just going to stick it on here raw for now, and I'll re-sleeve it in a bit or, off camera. But I just thought it was cool. I mean, it's way off center. In fact, it's not even off center. It's miscut. You can see the white strip there below the or above the burlap, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know. I just thought it was such a cool card featuring 3 Hall of Famers. Look at these fish eyes too. This card's got some problems, but at the same time, there's no creases on it. So I thought, I was in the store today. I needed some top loaders. Picked up some more sleeves. I always pick up a pack of sleeves or 2 packs of sleeves when I'm in there, but I needed top loaders today, so I stopped in and just thought I'd see what they had. And turned out they had like a little 20% off sale because they're celebrating their anniversary this weekend, which was a really cool thing. So got this for $12. And I thought that was a cool little pickup there. More than a little cool. I thought it was a very cool pickup. And also, in recent days, I've gotten a couple of autographs in the mail. I picked up this Greg Nettles auto, the Yankees fan I am is really excited to add this to the collection. I did not have a Greg Nettles auto. He signed in last year's Topps Archives. 2023 archives. So when I realized that, I was kind of had it in the back of my mind that I would try to add his auto, going forward. And finally, I got around to it. So this kind of counts as my Yankees birthday auto for the year. I went real inexpensive this year. This one was I think I got it for $10, maybe $11. And just $1 for shipping. It was shipped through the eBay standard envelope and came through fine. So, but really excited to add this. I think this is in the era of collecting that I was not collecting in, the era of the hobby, I should say. So I think this is 2008 Topps. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. But I think that was a pretty cool card. I love having that in the collection. So happy to get that Nettles auto, and gets me so for like 3 straight birthdays, 3 straight years, I picked up a Yankees auto. So that's Nettles is it for the year. And just yesterday, I got a really cool auto TTM. It's my second one from this guy, and he's a Hall of Famer. Got another Bill Mazeroski auto, and this one's from 1960 Topps. I picked this card up along with 2 other vintage cards for pretty cheap. I think I got this I think the lot was like $25. It was like a 70 Reggie All-Star and a 67 Willie Stargell I got along with this. And they're all in this like similar VG kind of maybe VGEX condition. I don't know, I just felt like it was a spur of the moment buy. But when I was paying for it, I remember like a month ago when I got these 3, I was like, okay, I'm going to send this out to him. 1960 Topps World Series year, his big home run year, and he did that just fine. He's got a great auto. Cost all of just $10 that he does through the mail. But what I love about it is that it goes splendidly with my 61 Topps Bill Mazeroski auto that I got through TTM from him maybe 2 years ago. So these together just look awesome. He's got a really nice signature. So thank you, Mr. Mazeroski, for another through the mail autograph. Really, really enjoy having both of these. So those are some recent pickups on kind of different things. I was sort of like, I had this in mind that I was maybe going to get, and thought, once I bought this, I'm like, oh, for sure, I'm sending it out to TTM. This I just picked up today. Wasn't really looking for it, but again, for the price for 3 Hall of Famers, no problem getting that. I love it. But I want to now transition to the goals piece that I was sort of touching on. So I'll give you an update on my 1978 Topps Hall of Fame run. I believe the last time I checked in on that, I had it down to 7 cards that I needed, and now it's down, happy to say it's down to 4. So I've picked up 3 in the last month or so. They're starting to get bigger as we go here. Although 2 of the 4 that I have left aren't necessarily big cards, they're just hard to find in PSA 7 or 8, which I really want to stick to. But in the meantime, let me show you the 3 that I've picked up. The first one of the 3 that I picked up recently was card 413, Reggie Jackson's World Series card. Got it in an 8. It's got a very old PSA label. It's a little off center left too, but we're getting to the point where I want to just kind of pick them up. I'm not looking for like the best example I can get. I want a nice example. And for the Reggies, he's got 3 cards in the set. I wanted them all in 8s, if at all possible. I got card number, I think 7 is his record breaker card, and I got that in an 8 in recent months, or maybe in the last 2-3 months. But I finally got around to picking this one up. So got this one. We'll leave that there. And then I picked up, and actually these next 2 I'm going to show are the 2 most expensive cards that I've gotten so far in this quest. The next one I've gotten is card 200. I got Reggie's main base card, and I did get it in an 8. And this card is actually, it's pricey for this grade. I mean, it's VCP's average for this is like just over $60, and I was still determined I wanted to get it in an 8. Just because it's those Yankee World Series, that era, and what he did in '77 World Series, and part of the '78 team. So I went out and got this in an 8. I paid $60 for it, with before tax and shipping. So it was actually a couple of bucks below VCP average. Incredibly enough, I think it's about 62 right now for a PSA 8. But it does look good. It's it's not. I mean, the centering's good. It's a little up, just a smidge. And if you look pretty closely, I think it's got a little bit of a print or registration issue. Might not be perfect. The text might not be as crisp as it could be. If you look pretty closely, it's a little maybe on the blurry side, just a smidge. I think at a glance the card looks really, really nice. So I'm actually really happy with this. So the back looks pretty good too. It's got a tiny little print mark there. So overall, happy to pick this up. Glad to have it picked up at this point. And then the next card I'm going to show, and the last recent pickup from '78, is a biggie. Definitely, it's one of the 3 biggest cards in the set, and I got it in a 7, like I said I was going to do. And that is 707 rookie shortstops, Molitor, Trammell, and Washington and Klutz. Got it in what I think is a pretty nice 7. So the main thing that I was trying to look out for in picking this card up when I would eventually get it was I really wanted to keep the print staining to a minimum down here. That's like the end all be all. That's the main cardinal sin of this card, so to speak. More than any corner wear or off center, it's there are so many examples of print ink staining on the bottom where it's smudges on some of them, even in 8s, or maybe not 8s, but a lot of 7s. You see the print smudging right around the lettering. So I don't know if the ink blew up in the printer while they were running these or whatever. I don't know what, but it's a major issue on this card. And this one actually, thankfully, it's minimal, or I wouldn't say it's non-existent. It's minimal. tiny thing there, a little bit right there, but it's actually not too bad at all, given what is often the case with this card. And so I thought this was a pretty good 7. And in the end, I think, what did I pay for this one? I think I got this for 55. I think he had it for 65. I offered 55 and he took it. And it is VCPing for about 60, I think, also. So this and the Reggie are at about the same price. This and a 7, this and an 8. So I paid about $5 more for the Reggie than for this, believe it or not. But I did finally get the Mahler Trammell. Really happy to check that off the list. And so the last 4 cards I need for the 78 Topps Hall of Fame run is number 400 Nolan Ryan, which I'm aiming to get in a 7. Card number 36 Eddie Murray, which I'm really hoping to get in an 8, which would be by far the biggest outlay for the project. But since it's a solo rookie card of a Hall of Famer, I really want to try to get Murray in an 8. It's just a kind of an iconic card as well. It's just a, that pose is classic. It's just a classic card from the decade. And then the other 2 I need are card 202 Home Run Leaders and card 93 Bobby Cox. I just can't find them in 7s or 8s, or if I'm seeing them in a 7 or 8, they're just at astronomical prices for the grade. Well, for 202, they're maybe a little bit more than what really kind of they'd be at, and they kind of don't have best offers on them, or it's just there's a couple of things going on with those. So those 2 are still kind of evading me right now. So, but hopefully I will have those 2 soon, and then it would be down to Ryan and Murray. I mean, Ryan and Murray I can get any day of the week once I'm ready to make the splurge on the right card for me. It's those other 2 that are going to be maybe holding me back here until I finally find them, and then hopefully find them at what I'm looking for, and just snatch them up. So there's my progress there. It's down to 4, which is really exciting. So it's 51 out of 55 cards, and I'm really just going to keep it at that. I'm not going to go add rows yet. I might in time, but I'm not going to right now for this goal. I will add Munson for a Munson player run that I'm trying to do, but I don't have a 78 yet. But then cards like Dave Parker or Steve Garvey, or Dwight Evans, possible Hall of Famers like them, I'm not going to add them just yet. I did add Lou Piniella last year, thinking that maybe he was going to get the Hall call as a manager this past winter, but that didn't happen. So yeah, really, I need 4 cards for that goal, which is awesome. And so let me move on to this other goal that, well, it was really a goal that was pretty much all but completed. So I've on occasion talk about the fact that I have a complete 1954 Topps set, which was just a I kind of fell in love with that set, to for lack of a better phrase, back in 2020 when I got back in the hobby, and just it became kind of a purpose almost for me collecting for about 2 years, where I wanted to do that set, and it was my primary focus for family connection reasons, given the Giants won the World Series that year, and just it's an iconic set, and the cards are awesome in my opinion, just an incredible design, classic, iconic, whatever adjective you want to use. And so I managed to complete it. But as if you know that set and that era, I'll throw some cards up here in a moment. Topps Bowman, they were at the peak of their rivalry then, and so one reason why I actually committed to trying to build that Topps 54 set was because Mickey Mantle was not in the set, because he was an exclusive for Bowman that year, and in 55 as well. And so I, eventually, like I said, it took me about 2 years, and I completed that set. And I am now in the process of I only have 2 1954 Hall of Fame cards left to send to SGC for slabbing, because I bought almost the entire set raw. And Those last two cards, Larry Doby and Tommy Lasorda, I don't have them out right now, but I'm going to be sending them off to SGC probably a week from now, because I have a current order that finally got into post-grading processing just today, and it's got three cards in there from 54. It's only a 5-card order, but 3 of them are the Hall of Famers who were coaches in the 54 top set. Billy Herman, Earl Combs, and Heine Manouche. So once I get those 3 back, hopefully, I imagine it'll get shipped out Monday, hopefully, and then hopefully I'll have it Wednesday, Thursday to do a reveal here next week. But then it'll be down to Larry Doby and Tommy Lasorda in terms of who I need for to have all 22 Hall of Famers slabbed, which is cool and exciting, and the end of a book. It kind of closes the book on 54 tops for me, because I almost certainly won't send any additional cards out for grading, even though I could in terms of like condition. Definitely got some EXs or even maybe some EXMTs of decent players that I could easily get graded, but I just don't think I'm going to. At least that's not in the cards right now, so to speak. But I kind of have come around just in the last few weeks that I don't think my 54 baseball card goal is done. In fact, I know it's not done, and I'll show you why. So I just picked this up about 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. 1954 Bowman Red Shandienst in an EX5. Yep, I have decided that I want to collect the Hall of Famers in Bowman that were not in tops. I've made that decision. I'm actually pretty excited about it. And it's something that will take a long time. It will take years. Even though there are only, I believe it's 14 cards that I would need to get. And actually, I have 3 of them already. Here are the other 2 that I have picked up in recent days, or I guess in the last 2 weeks. Minnie Minoso and George Kell. So I will send these 2 off for grading at some point here, probably in the spring. So I have decided, like I said, to go down the road of collecting the Bowman Hall of Famers from 54 that were not in tops. So I will not be collecting, the 54 Bowman Mays or the 54 Bowman Whitey Ford, or if he's in that set, I can't even remember. So obviously a lot of those tops Hall of Famers are also in Bowman, but then I know some are not because of the exclusives. Now, what was the card that in the end really kind of got me to this point to say, yes, I'm going to go for this? Here's the card. I'm showing it on the screen that I'll have to add later in editing. It is the Roy Campanella card. I was scouring, I think it was a Heritage auction one weekend, one of these recent weekends, because I've been, kind of looking at those almost every week. I haven't made a purchase in like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm kind of dialing back on those for now, because I'm definitely in kind of like, saving mode right now for big shows coming up later this year, National and possibly Strongsville if I get to go there in April. It's still kind of up in the air, but it's a possibility. So I saw the Campanella card, and it's just an image that I didn't remember, but I was really drawn to it. It's a fantastic card. That Campy card is awesome. So I was tracking it, thought about bidding for it, and I didn't. And that's fine. But someday I probably will. Not someday. I will pick that up someday, because I'm committing myself to actually trying to pick up those Hall of Famers. And I think in the end, when I get there, however long it takes, however many years it takes, it will be awesome to say, like, here in this like almost like pinnacle year of like the golden age of the game. I grew up in New York, so it's slight bias there. but with given New York baseball's dominance in the 50s. But like 54, which ironically enough doesn't feature either the Yankees or Dodgers in the World Series, still like it's almost like the peak of kind of that era. Maybe 55 would be, maybe some people might say that because the Dodgers finally broke through and won their World Series in Brooklyn. But it was the year like where Willie Mays like emerged, truly emerged. It was an MVP year. He had just gotten back from military service that year, and my dad and grandfather were Giants fans too. But beyond that, it's just sort of like, I think 54. I'm thinking Willie Mays stickball in New York City, The Catch, but then Mickey Mantle and Duke Snider and Yogi Berra and Pee Wee Reese and Jackie are all doing their thing. So 54 to me just is sort of represents almost like the pinnacle of that golden age of the 50s, if we call that the golden age. 50s, early 60s, maybe late 40s too. And so it would be awesome to say I have all the Hall of Famers, cards of all the Hall of Famers from that very kind of like, magical year 1954 in baseball. And so with that all said, this is almost like, I know I'm at 20 minutes here, and this is almost kind of like a podcast kind of thing. I'm just sort of blabbing here, but hopefully you're following along. And I will share a couple more cards. They're actually going to be more Bowmans, but not Hall of Famers. But here are the Hall of Famers that I do have to collect for this set. They are that aren't so. These are the cards. Actually, and I got one extra card. Actually, I forgot to mention that I have to get as well, and which I will someday. Which is another reason why this is going to be a challenge. But here are the players who are not in 54 tops, who are Hall of Famers, and all but one are in Bowman. Nellie Fox, Minnie Minoso, Ralph Kiner, George Kell, Pee Wee Reese, Enos Slaughter, Mickey Mantle. I don't know why I have them written in the order I do, but I do. This is the order I just have it in. So Mickey Mantle, Roy Campanella, like I talked about, Robin Roberts, Red Schoendienst, Bob Feller, Early Wynn, Bob Lemon, and finally Stan Musial. Stan Musial's card is from Red Heart. So, and that is just an iconic card in the entire hobby. So making the commitment to pursue this, knowing that I'm going to have to get the 54 Bowman mantle someday. And it's a beautiful card. It really is. Along with the Musial Red Heart, which is also a beautiful card. And I don't mind throwing out the beautiful word for a baseball card once in a while. Those two are awesome. It will be great to add those cards to my collection someday. Now, 54 Bowman for me was not really like, I have overlooked it because I was so committed to the top set. And one day in an LCS, I saw 3 54 Giants cards that I just picked up on a lark. I think they were maybe $5 a piece. They just, like, these are not great cards. I mean, these two especially, they're just not, like, done well. They're kind of dark, not bright, and I don't know, the backdrops just aren't great. I mean, Polo Grounds looks kind of okay back there, but I don't know, like these two cards just aren't that great. And then here's one for the most notable of these three, Don Mueller. I mean, his actual image isn't too bad. The backdrop's really dark. So I just think neither of these cards were that great. And so I'm just thinking, 54 Bowman's like, meh. But, and they're not the most exciting design either, just overall, versus 54 Tops, which is iconic. But I picked these up again, probably for $10 or $15 total, one day, probably 2-3 years ago. And, but, again, that Campanella, when I saw that Campanella card, it just reaffirmed it to me. And then last year, actually, I was at another card shop. I think it was at Legends in Grand Rapids, so a big one, a major one. And I did see this card and picked it up. Maybe this was like me turning the corner a little bit on this set, because I think this Allie Reynolds card is an amazing card. I think this is a great illustration of a photograph that they captured here. That's just an awesome card of him. So maybe the back has got some issues and stuff, so I won't be ever sending this in for a grade. If Reynolds were to ever get on the Hall of Fame someday, maybe I'll rethink that. But that's a great card, I think. And then the Campy, again, when I saw that in that Heritage listing, I'm like, yeah, I think I might want to do this. Because in some ways, when I get those last two 54 tops graded, Dobie and Lasorda, it's going to be almost bittersweet. It will be bittersweet because I'll be closing that chapter. And now I have another one, which is kind of cool. So I have 3 so far of the 14. How many more am I going to buy? It's just going to be whenever I can. And they won't be like front and center, like I'm just looking for them constantly, like I did for 78 tops last year, which was a big goal. 55 cards. It's like you want to pick away at it. And, it was such an important set for me, being it was my first. So this is different. This is going to be just kind of I don't even know if I call it a quest. It's just sort of something that's out there. And if I do pick up cards out here, as I go here and there, great. What I do think, though, is that I will not buy anything online like eBay or ComC or any site. I don't think I'm going to buy any others of this raw and send in for grading. I think the only ones I'll only buy graded cards from these online if it's the right card. Because these two, I think I kind of, once I decided I'm going to go for this, I kind of got a little excited. And this card in particular, the Minoso, it looks great. Both of these look great. And the shadiness isn't bad either, although, again, that background's a little dark, but it's a Hall of Famer, and it's a pretty good image of them overall. But this card's really nice. I love this Mini Minoso card. Front of it looks great. Somehow on the back, I missed a crease in here. There's a crease on the back, and I got a lot of bids, actually. And so I'm happy I won it still in a way. It's the front is beautiful. The front really looks nice. But the back has this wrinkle, or the crease, it's not really visible on the front, so I don't know if you call it a crease or a wrinkle. But there it is right here, right there. So that's pretty frustrating. I was kind of kicking myself, and then I looked at the image on the listing again. I'm like, yep, it's there. I just missed it. Seller wasn't trying to hide it. It's there. It's now, obviously the seller's going to want to try to capture it in the best light he can. That's fine, but it was there. And so when I do get this graded, and I still am going to get this graded, even with the crease, I'll be a little underwater on that one. That's okay. It's not a big deal. It's still nice. The front looks great. And then the Kell is it's a really nice looking card. Part of me is slightly concerned it's, I'm pretty certain it's not going to come back as, fake or anything. The dealer, I bought this from an online dealer. It has 5 figures eBay rating. So I'm hopeful, very hopeful this will grade pretty well. I paid about 30 for Minnow, so I paid about 20 to 25 for Kell, which I think is probably too much. So I went and I got a little too excited on both of these. And so the only raws I'll buy going forward, if I buy raws of these 54 Bowmans, are going to be in person, either at an LCS or at a show. Otherwise, graded ones, if I see the right one for me online on eBay or wherever, then if it works out, it works out, and that's how I'll add the others going forward online only through slabs. But I do look forward to sending Kell and Minoso out for grading. But part of me is just it measures a little bigger for whatever reason than some of these other ones, and so I don't quite get that. Look at that. I don't know what's going on there. So part of me is a little concerned. I don't know why it would not measure right, but it's, and if for whatever reason it comes back, it's fake. I felt it and everything. It feels fine. It feels right. But I don't know. So if I got zonked on this one, I will make my voice heard to the seller in some way, and we'll move from there. Go from there. But, it's on me, I guess. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm just overthinking it and it's fine. Maybe they came in all sorts of sizes, so to speak. Maybe the consistency wasn't there from Bowman that year. But anyway, that is where I'm at with this. I'm going to move forward with this 54 Bowman goal. And we'll see where it goes over the years, because it will take years. But I'm excited to give it a shot and just kind of go down that road. who knows when I'll get that mantle. It'll be, it'll be a purchase of a year, even in a one, whatever year that'll be, but it will be excited to get it. So it will be exciting to get it when I do get it someday. And the same with the Musial, maybe even more for the Musial, because that card is just amazing. But that's it. I know I've been kind of talking for a while here about this, but it was just sort of, I almost just kind of needed to get it out because it's been kind of on my mind. But that's the road I'm starting to go down for this. So let me know what you think in the comments. Again, this is not like an active, focused goal all the time thing. It's just going to be as we go. But that's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you stuck it out this far, I do appreciate it. And I'd love to know some of your goals that you have kind of focusing on right now. Feel free to let me know. With that, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video.